Hello everyone, welcome back to a new Hearthstonecast. Today we have a fantastic game in the bottom right spawning as a Red Terran player playing for Team Kaisi. It's going to be Innovation. And top left playing for Kaisi as well. Ooh, I thought it was Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It's going to be Solar. I'm glad I checked by hovering over it rather than just shouting it out confidently, because I would have been extremely wrong. Now, we have Inno versus Solar here. This is from the latest Stay at Home Story Cup. I just decided to pick one game. This one got recommended to me a couple of times in my email. If you want to recommend games to me, that is possible. Just send an email to me, hearthstomesemail@gmail.com. Call it game recommendation, and we'll see how far we'll get that way. Now, Innovation, this actually was his first match, or just maybe second match in the group, I can't quite remember. He was too late for the Stay at Home Story Cup. I believe he either overslept by 2.5 hours or just forgot he had to play. So he showed up 2.5 hours late, and MaxPax got a free win over him. And then afterwards, MaxPax managed to beat Solar in the winner's match. I believe this is one of the games from the decider match that Solar played against Innovation. So I'm really curious what this game is going to look like. There were so many good games played at the Stay at Home Story Cup, and I just haven't been able to honestly catch the majority of them. I believe there were like 4 or 6 groups played at the same time on those days, so just way too many games to catch them all. And I asked a couple of people that were like, yeah, this game is absolutely bananas. And Solar in general has had such a good ZVT, a ZVT that tended to be focused around Mutalisk, Ling, Bane, Mutalisk, perhaps into Ultralisk later on. Now, recently I believe he also started playing a little bit more Lurker styles. He started playing perhaps a little bit more of that early Ling Bane of a Forgas into Lurkers, while Innovation always seems to be the guy that has one of the best mid games, but when it gets to the late game, he isn't as good as, for example, a Maru or a Bian, TY maybe, who is so strong positionally, right? These guys really seem to have the late game down, and Innovation seems to be a lot more keen on just doing these big mid game pushes where he has like one army over here, and he has one army on this side of the map with these medevacts, with these mines, and that really seems to be his style. Now, Lightshade is a map that is favored for Zerg. It is just simply slightly better for Zerg. The open areas, the ease of keeping the fort base. There is a sieging position here, technically, but it's not great. You're not really attacking anything. You're not threatening anything. So it's generally not considered a great map for Terran players, and most Zerg players like this map a lot. So I'm surprised it actually made it in a best of 3. Now, onto the build orders here. We see Innovation opening up with his standard, oh my god, triple CC. I was gonna say standard triple CC, but we actually see a second factory coming down. He's gonna build another marine and then get a tech lab, probably to go into Blue Flame Hellions. Now the question is he going to get a starport with this, or is he not going to get a starport with this and then do some type of Hellion push, Blue Flame Hellion push, perhaps even with an armory with it, where you drop a couple of Hellions in the main base, turn them into Hellbats with the Blue Flame. I mean, they do so much freaking damage. Yeah, we do see the swap here. I don't think we're going to be seeing a starport build. No. Orbital Command goes down, second gas has finished up as well. Luckily for Solar, he is playing Overlord speed, so he should be able to figure out, hey, what's going on? And basically tell himself, okay, this is Blue Flame Hellion. You can either try to fight that with some Roaches, you can get a couple of Banelings, maybe a Spine, add a couple of extra Queens. We see the Reaper trying to jump into the main base. Well, we didn't quite see it as the observing has been subpar once again. Yep, this Overlord's gonna see absolutely everything. And you might think, well, if you play Blue Flame Hellion, isn't it really normal to kind of go into mech from there? You have 2 factories already, but that's not actually quite the case. Very often what we see from these Blue Flame Hellion openers is a transition into bio, and then what Terran can decide to do is they can decide to get Drilling Claws really quickly after this, like really fast, and start dropping mines. With the Drilling Claw upgrade, they can also not do that. We don't see an armory go down yet, so it seems not very likely that that is actually going to happen. Of course, for Drilling Claws, you do need the armory, otherwise you can't start it. Now, 2 extra barracks going down. So yeah, this just seems to be going into a more standard approach. We see a tank being built. Did Innovation actually scout the Roach Warren? Yes, he did. Tries to push forward, and I kind of like the Roach. It's such a safe response. There's only 2 drones here at the 3rd base. So the way that Solar does it, he's like, okay, I'm not gonna mine from my 3rd base for a little bit. I will be oversaturated, but I'm also not going to lose any drones for now until my Roaches are out. Oh my god, are you joking? How did he get tricked like this? Oh no, Solar. This is a huge error by him. Absolutely not necessary either. He's gonna lose a bunch of workers here. 13 workers have gone down. This should have been 0 workers going down, or maybe 2 at this base, but now all of a sudden it's looking so weak. Wait, what is this? What? Okay, this is a little bit of a German taxi in TVZ. It seems like he's gonna Ravager Link Queen drop against a guy that, I mean, his production is late, right? Innovation's production is late. His extra barracks are late. He has a couple of Marines. He almost has more tanks than Marines at this point. He's producing 2 tanks at a time, or was producing 2 tanks at a time. Bunker gets built as well. I think Innovation just scanned the 3rd base. Sees the complete lack of drones. Here come the Queens, but there's not that many units here, honestly. Like, how is he gonna break this wall? He needs to do something, it feels like. I mean, Innovation is just so far up in workers at this point that it just seems difficult for Solar to transition out of this. Sure, he has 2 Evos, but they haven't started their upgrades yet. Innovation already started his 1-1. I guess he's just gonna take out a bunch of depots and take it from there. Did he just miss a bile? Just biled in front of it, I'm pretty sure. That's not the way you want to be doing it. Triple bunker going down as well. All of these depots are going to end up falling. A lot of the investment here for Innovation is being put into tanks, which isn't necessarily bad, but it isn't going to help him put pressure on his opponent, which means that Solar, for the next few minutes at least, should be able to just say, hey, you know what, you have so many tanks right now, I know your marine count is gonna suck, your medevacs are extremely delayed as well, I have a lot of creep on the map, so taking a 3rd will be hard, you're not gonna be able to do any damage to me, and I wouldn't mind if Solar just takes a 4th base at this point. Yeah, there we go. Gets an infestation pit, starts stacking to hive. Continues into the roach upgrades as well. He's actually gonna start spreading creep. This is the reverse creep spread, basically. Start at the opponent's base and then start going back to your own base, which feels extremely weird. Where's this Overlord, by the way? I know you're flying around somewhere. Where are you at, buddy? Did it already return back home? Okay, it's over here, yeah. And actually sends out a link drop as well. Now, Innovation is trying his hardest to deny this creep. Obviously, is a good call. You want to get that 3rd base going, and there's still some creep at this side of the map, and every single time these tumors spread more, it means you're going to need to waste more scans. Gives a lot of vision here. I mean, this is 2 more scans, actually, if this one finishes up. Oh, it didn't finish up. That was a big deal. Actually, because otherwise that costs him another scan, right? If there's 1 more active tumor there. No, all of these tumors are going to end up falling before Solar manages to save them. A couple of biles going down. I think Solar is maybe too aggressive here. Nah, might also be fine. Continues spreading creep at home, as he does have a bunch of queens, of course, and he's just feigning some pressure. So overall, with this link drop in the main base, Solar once again picking up a couple of worker kills. Actually, these are probably his first worker kills now. Not quite sure how much he got before with that Ravager Link Queen push. So Overlord's gonna get taken out as well by these Marines, and now we have the... We have these SCVs transferring towards the 3rd base. There's a crap ton of tanks here. 8 tanks. Now, it's going to be difficult to move across the map initially, but once he gets across the map, this is a scary push. Like, this is a scary amount of tanks, honestly. Is there any upgrades on them? No, no upgrades on them yet, even though armory has been done for a while. Inno just not using it. We have seismic spines on the way for Solar and 2 Vipers, couple of lurkers being built as well. So this is quick lurkers. I mean, this is 9:40. Lurkers are done after starting with a Roach Ravager Queen Ling. What felt almost like an all-in and really didn't do much damage at all. Like, hardly did any damage. We have a double drops being sent out right now. The creep of Solar hasn't been spreading as fast as I think he wants it to be. Probably want to be on top of the ramps already at this point to really delay any potential push outs. You see, you know, how many tanks is this? This is 11 tanks. He's getting a bunch more. He's adding his barracks now, right now going up to 8 racks. 8 racks to factory. We see his 4GC is on the way as well. Oh my god. Solar with the positional lurker play here. Just destroys these marines for free. These roaches pop in forward and we'll be able to deny this denial of creep spread. The deny of the denial. Nice. So then he allows himself to keep spreading creep. Still an active tumor down here as well. It's so nice to have active tumors all around. Like once your active tumors get denied, you need to send the queens over to put down a couple of extra, which takes a lot of time. And now his creep threat finally is on top of those ramps. And it's truly starting to look scary now for Innovation, who honestly hasn't been doing much of anything. He's afraid of the roaches, which I understand. He's been trying to do some damage with drops, but one drop got cleaned up by some sneakily burrowed lurkers. The other drop got cleaned up or at least pushed back by these roaches and hydras. 2-2 is now finishing up for Solar, who somehow managed to catch up with his upgrades. We see 2-2 at the same time as the Terran, which is kind of surprising to me. We have a lurker, pure lurker Viper army here, which is something we don't see every day. How many is that? 6, 4, that's 10 lurkers. Okay. Take down stuff real quick, especially with the upgrades that he has. Starting +3. Third Evo chamber, so wants to be going into melee upgrades as well, and perhaps can use some of these Evo chambers later on to start sucking energy for the Vipers from. We have 2 Overseers being built right now, triple Ghost in production, and the one thing that happened here, which I haven't really been mentioning, is that Solar kind of pushed this game into a territory where Innovation tends to be less adequate. Innovation is extremely competent when it comes to the mid game. But it seems like they almost skipped the mid game and Innovation is like, oh crap, well I guess I'm playing late game now. And even though, don't get me wrong, Innovation is good at the late game. He's very good at the late game. But when it comes to the highest levels, I don't think he is one of the top Terrans. I don't think he's a top 3 Terran when it comes to the late game. Perhaps top 5, but Solar is definitely one of the Zergs that doesn't mind playing that late game. He is good at it. He's very methodical. He's very patient as well. He tends to have proper unit control, sometimes gets slightly over eager and a little bit impatient, but in general he tends to keep up in his systematical approach of the late game that he tends to employ. As we have a little bit of a trade in the middle, a couple of biles actually hitting, which is rare to see. Lurker slowly but surely pushing forward, and Innovation knew this was happening, right? Innovation isn't crazy. He can click roaches and see, hey wait, roaches have +2 attack. Well, this is just going to go into Lurker. You can't really go into Baneling from here. It's just not very common. Single Spire on the way. Might see a second Spire as well for these extra upgrades. I'm curious if this is for Broodlords or some weird Mutalisk switch. I mean, it is possible to get a Mutalisk switch going, but also relatively unlikely, especially without upgrades, right? And you're fighting against 3-3 Marines with what are you gonna get, 10 Mutas? No, I don't think so. Gonna need some upgrades on whatever you want to get first. These roaches are being taken out by the Marines and the Marauders. There's a couple of Marauders in here for a little bit of extra damage against the armor units. As a couple of snipes take out 2 Overseers. Good job there by Innovation, who's just sitting back behind his sensor towers, not doing much of it. Jesus Lord. What's that? 4 for 8. Nice. The counting today has been on point, guys. That's the one thing I can tell you. There's 3 tanks over here. We're at a total of 14 tanks, which I don't mind. 14 tanks. On a map like Lightshade, where there's a lot of possible rotations, a high tank count tends to be beneficial. Now, he is spread rather thin, of course, so his ghost movement needs to be on point. His sensor towers assist him with that. So we see a good scan's going to be able to pick off 5-6 units. Maybe, oh my god, that's a lot of units that might go down. That's some nice snipes there out of Innovation. We see the units lost definitely in favor of Inno as well. Needs to move out of range of these lurkers. Starts sniping Overseers right now. And he knows the moment he snipes all the Overseers, does he have Cloak? He has Cloak, yes. So if all these Overseers go down, he can probably scan, walk in, clear a bunch of these lurkers for free. So It seems like that is kind of the game plan here for Innovation, who's up to freaking 16. 16 ghosts, 3 more on the way. So it's going to be a majority Marine tank ghost army. No Liberators being added yet. I was about to say, against these big ghost counts, very often, if there's no like mines or anything around, a lot of Banelings can do well. Sure, tanks deal with Banelings, but if there's like 40 Banelings, 4 tanks won't be enough. And there won't be an area usually where there's much more than 4 Banelings. That's just a fact. Marines make it up to the top. Ghosts are in the middle. They're cloaked. I think that was a mistake, right? I don't think that was intentional. Scans forward. Doesn't want to be caught off guard, of course. This actually is kind of scary. Tanks are moving in at this point, and Solar realizes, okay, this ain't it. I like the moves that Innovation has been making. He just... How many orbitals does he have? Okay, so he has 5 orbitals, which is a bunch of scans. Look how many scans he has available. It's like 5, 6 in the main still. So what he does is he scans forward, and then he clears creep with the ghost. Now the problem is that he can't really capitalize on clearing the creep very much, because... I mean, he can just put 5 tanks here. That's just too risky, simply, right? He needs the good positions. Now, scanning a lot of creep on the top side. Let's see how good Solar is at rebuilding that creep. Well, so far, he hasn't really been attempting to rebuild. Does he still have creep queens? Does he still have creep? No, he doesn't. So he has 4 queens, all of those tasked to inject these hatcheries. Which means this creep probably won't be rebuilt for a while. Nukes are being researched right now. Extra orbitals to get some of that extra energy. We actually have a quadruple drop heading towards the main base. Let's take a look at the reaction time here out of Solar. Solar sends the Vipers towards this. We'll be able to grab probably all of them, honestly. This shouldn't do much. Oh. Yeah, they're all just gonna die. This was an awful drop. This was not worth it here. Oh my god, Innovation is so ballsy with his ghost movement. It's gonna send out 1 ghost to the left side. We'll start queuing up a nuke onto this base. Did Solar spot that? I don't think he did. Okay, let's see at the... Oh, okay, he sees it immediately. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Gets the ghost before the nuke even gets close to landing. And right now, probably there should be a couple of spores, yes. This is a good spore. It covers this area and kind of this area. And then this spore covers the forward area. So... I wouldn't even mind if you just put like a spore over here, a spore over here, like a spore over here, just in random locations, kind of forward, to more easily spot those nukes. I really do like these extra spores. Yeah, that's definitely what you want to be doing as a Zerg in these type of scenarios. That's good. Here out of Solar, there's 2 roaches, which I was gonna say they're probably gonna be forgotten. As I wanted to say it, he burrows one into a funky little location. This will be a denial on this base. Should burrow a Ling underneath as well. Force out another scan later on. This is the mother load of changelings. Look at that. Actually stimps for it as well, man. Innovation is crazy. So we have a big... Well, I'm not even sure what this is. This is not really a run by. This is a sacrifice. We have... What is this? Okay, yeah. These ghosts, man, they're so far forward. It's so rare to see. It's actually so rare to see. He's gonna get a couple of snipes. He gets 1 snipe off only. It's not a couple of snipes. He tried to get a couple of snipes off, but only got 1. The rest got cancelled. Of course, if you do get attacked, the snipe does end up getting cancelled. 50 Lings on the way here as well. Huh. Huh. Okay, tank slowly but surely moving forward. Okay, good start so far of the fight of Innovation. Throws down a zoning nuke, if anything. Solar says, not on my watch. Vipers haven't been seeing much action as of late. Like, they haven't been getting the pools that you usually want. Good snipes out of Innovation. Does get 1 lurker at least. Banelings moving forward. Tanks doing good target fire. Unit lost heavily in favor of Innovation at this point. And this isn't an issue for Solar, as long as he can deny these 2 bases. But the moment these 2 bases get taken by Innovation, or if Solar ends up losing this base and can't mine from there, that's a real issue, because you're never gonna trade cost efficiently against the Terran. The way that you beat them is by trading consistently while denying 1 or 2 bases on the map and ideally taking your opponent's base. I feel like Solar wanted to build a hatchery here, but forgot that he burrowed a roach there earlier, so it's a little bit unfortunate. I wonder how far this SCV is gonna get, honestly. This is their worst James Bond in the history of James Bonds. Uh-oh. Broodlord's popping in right now, and it seems like Innovation wasn't quite ready for it, just like I didn't quite spot it either. Nice little surprise switch. Ghosts are okay against Broodlords. Usually, what is the upgrades on the Brutes? He has +2 attack upgrade, he has +1 carapace, +2 is about to finish up. There's 5 infestors on the way. This nicely cleaned up this this line, basically, this tank line, this sieged up line. Of course, Solar doesn't want to push too far forward, but I do like this switch into the Brutes. Where are the Lurkers? There's still 2 Lurkers around here on the floor. Good Snipe's gonna lose a bunch of these Broodlords. Oh no. Trying to cancel as many Snipes as possible with the Broodlings, but doesn't quite work out. And is actually gonna lose, what, 7, 8 Broodlords. Blinding Cloud is being used as well. Fungal's just a little bit too late. Fungal's such a good tool at denying Snipes, but doesn't quite get it. Meanwhile, the fight for the top has been lost by Solar. Solar lost this base over here. Now Innovation is set up on this topside base with a bunch of Marauders, a bunch of Marines. Probably should be considering throwing down a sensor tower here, so he gets a little bit of extra information. We still have 19 ghosts on the map, 13 tanks, a bunch of those moving up right now. These changelings are gonna go down. Tanks obviously not the quickest at taking them out. This area is kind of left alone for now. If Solar knew that there were no ghosts there, he probably would love to push forward. A couple of changelings could give him some information there. And if he spots the ghost here in the middle, I wouldn't be surprised if he sends the Broodlords into this position. No, he decides he needs to go back to actually try and defend, which, to be fair, also makes some sense. I wouldn't mind a more base trading move here though out of him, pushing this base away, at least with 2 or 3 Broodlords, but no. I mean, this is gonna take years, no? Look how slow these guys are. By the time he arrives, Innovation will be long gone. Like, the Broodlord is not a unit that you can use reactively to move to other areas. It's always painful to watch them fly. Like, they're so slow. Pam 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 pam. Ba pam 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 da 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 da. God, they're ugly. No offense. If you look like a Broodlord, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, of course, but holy crap. Really no redeeming qualities about themselves. Oh, what's happening here? A couple of snipes going down. As I wouldn't mind if he sniped the Overseer first here, so there would have been no detection whatsoever. Probably would have been at least a little bit helpful. We have 2 tanks backing up these 4 medevacs and 4 units as well, so every unit has personal healing. The ghost moving forward. Is there any nukes in store? Where does it show when you have a nuke available? Yep, 2 nukes are available. A couple of snipes going down. Good EMP on a bunch of those fungal boys. Does end up losing 3 ghosts for it though, so pays a price. But oi, 12k down for Solar, and Solar also is struggling keeping his bases basically. Still 2 lurkers here, but this is an area where if Innovation decides to go into right now, I don't see how Solar's gonna hold that, right? I don't see how he's gonna hold that. So these lurkers will most likely start showing themselves. They'll get a tank for their efforts. No, they won't. Bzzt. Bzzt. 2 lurkers scan. No, no scan. As the Marines will come to save these tanks as well, most likely. Should be fine. Lings don't tend... Oh my god, the Baneling's actually getting good hits. And we have the Broodlords moving forward. If I was Solar, I'd be so afraid moving forward like this. Holy crap. Innovation sees this. He's like, hey, wait a second. This doesn't look that brilliant for you, buddy. He's gonna get... Wants to get the EMPs before he goes in for the snipes, obviously. Doesn't want to get fungled. Loses 2 ghosts for it. Lost a bunch of the tanks here at the bottom, but manages to break through. Now he needs to send some extra units here, but the only units he has that can fight are Broodlords and Fungal Boys. And you need some army as a Zerg player to deal with this type of aggression. Like, there's no way otherwise you can win. Where's the orbital count? I can see it. 7 orbitals right now. So he has almost infinite scan. You can literally scan like every 8-9 seconds. So you can basically just chase the Broodlord army. Wait, where are we? Where was that scan? I just heard a scan. I just scanned himself. No clue why he would do that. This topside base is being nuked. It's the nuke bonanza. Oh, actually gets a couple of these medevacs, which is nice. Now, the vision here for the Terran is obviously super big as well. 29 ghosts, holy crap. This is 29 ghosts, 26 marines. He lost all of his tanks and got rid of them, probably on purpose. He's gonna try to get a couple of snipes off here. Does get 1 or 2, but ends up losing a bunch of ghosts. I'm not sure how great this trade was for Innovation. Innovation will be able to get a couple of Corruptors on the retreat, which is nice. We have a big bio army here on the top, which is not being dealt with once again. We just don't have the units to deal with these run-bys. There's no Link Bane, there's no Hydras, there's no Lurkers. How are you going to deal with this? We have a zoning nuke. Is Solar aware of this? I am not sure if he is. Blast down these burrow drones. Actually see them move into the main base. Like, there's just nothing to deal with this type of stuff, right? Once this unloads, sure, there's links on the way now, but I think you can just fight against this and probably get okay-ish trades. Yeah, this is okay for Innovation. It's not brilliant. Probably, maybe should have just picked up, but end of the day, units lost still heavily in favor of Innovation. I don't even see how Solar is going to keep this pace if he stays on pure Broodlord Infestor. And Innovation is playing a solid game. I'm saying that I don't think he's one of the better late game players, but he's playing this so well, methodical. Just constant rotations with a bio army, with a ghost army, which is 32 ghost. Like, he can just insta-shot at least like 8 Broodlords, even if a bunch of the snipes get cancelled. The Broodlord counts is rising though, and if you... The thing here for Innovation is it's really scary, right? So basically Innovation needs to play perfect, or very close to perfect with his unit movement for a very long time. And he gets like very small gains. So every single time he'll kill like 1 or 2 units and he'll lose 1. You know, he'll kill 3 units and will lose 2 or 1 unit. So his lead increases bit by bit. And Solar needs one big fight where if he hits 1 fungal on the ghost, the game might just end. You know, you just win like 10, 12 ghosts at once. So as a Terran player, very often it feels like you need to play super well for so long, and you make one mistake, you kind of just lose the game. And for the Zerg, it often feels like you're completely powerless, because if the Terran doesn't make mistakes, then, well, it feels so difficult to get anything done, especially if you have these slow armies. Once again, he's just chasing the sun, chasing the storm. Can you chase the sun? I guess you could theoretically. It's a bit of a pointless thing to do, though. I guess it's kind of what Solar's doing. He's chasing the sun. Every time he gets there, it's like, oh, this is way too hot. I need to leave again. Like, he's basically trying to keep bases alive, but he really can't. Like, he just doesn't have the army for it. I feel like what Solar should be doing is he should actually just be defending 1 or 2 locations, then mine it out, then go to the other location. But then, obviously, Innovation will probably try to fly something here and try to establish that position. Innovation actually is just mining out this area at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to go for this bottom base, because this base is impossible to take for Solar. It's just never going to happen. So if Innovation can establish himself here, I don't see a way in which he loses. We have this drop once again at the top side. We have a nuke. I mean, if this one works, then... Yeah, okay. I was going to say I'll eat a shoe, but... Betting to eat a shoe is always a bad idea, so I'm never going to do that. Alright, here come the Broodlords. Now this is a big army, okay? A bunch of these Corruptors are going down. Corruptors are relatively useless in this army anyway. I don't understand why there's still 11 of them. It's not like there's any Vikings. I guess you do want to kind of preempt that. As long as there's Broodlings on the left side, that's super helpful, because then these ghosts can just move forward. Hello, where are the Fungals? Solar. Solar? Does get some Fungals now, and he's pushing forward. Now, the move that Innovation is supposed to make while he's under attack from these Broodlords is that he should be doing counterattacks with his Bio Army, which is still sizable enough that it can definitely take out bases. It can force a full-on base trade. And with the Ghost, you can force these Broodlords to move forward in a very, very slow way. Oh, he's going to try to get a couple of snipes off on these Overseers. Big fungal hits, though. This is what I was talking about earlier. If you hit these big fungals, you can hit a follow-up fungal, then all of these ghosts that you hit will just straight up die. But sadly, for Solar, there's not enough follow-up fungals, as all of these infestors have been hit by EMP. There's 2 more Corruptors on the way, which I don't understand, but it just seems like the Corruptor supply could have been used in a way better way. It feels like Solar's just kind of bleeding out. He has no money, he hardly has any income, and Innovation is... I mean, he's comfortably sitting on a bank of, what is this? 12k almost at this point. Oh, this is a 12k resource bank. Wow. Innovation does get caught out here a little bit. No fungals available though. One parasitic bomb takes out a medevac. And here come the ghosts. Oh no, this is gonna get absolutely everything. Should have probably gone for an EMP first, but gets 5-6 infestors for, well, it doesn't really matter for what, because there's just no money for Solar. Any trade at this point is a good trade. 5 ghosts for a Broodlord is almost going to be worth it at this point, as there's just no gas income for Solar. Solar can't even max out right now, and every unit that he loses, he just can't rebuild, which is, you know, it's painful to think about. We see these ghosts being pushed back, and they're kind of backed into a corner at this point. Oh no, Innovation, you're not gonna tell me that this is how you end up losing the game. Lurkers moving forward will try to cancel a lot of these snipes. We'll actually be able to do just that. Oh my god, this fight is so good for Solar. That's just not good enough though. It's just not good enough. The Broodlords don't quite have the support anymore. There's no more fungals. These Marines aren't dying. There's ghosts showing up. The production for Innovation is just a little bit too good as well. This fight did look very, very good. You saw this was the first fight which actually was better for Solar. Went up 7k. Wait, is Solar actually... This is the fight I was talking about earlier. This is the fight that you need, but I'm not sure if this is going to be enough. The production of Innovation is so big, and there's still a Thor shooting away at these Broodlords. He's just like, alright, I'm gonna lose the Thor, but if I get 2 Broodlords with this, it will be perfect. Oh man. This game got a lot closer than it should have been. What a mistake by Innovation to get backed into a corner like that. Always need an escape route, and could have just gone for these base trading moves with his Bio Army as well, but he thought he had enough at this point. Can he muster up enough of a force to beat this back? I think the answer is going to be simply yes, because a lot of this supply is in Corruptors. 15 Corruptors, completely useless at this point. This base will end up getting cancelled before it really gets a lot of mining going though, so that's a big deal. Link's doing a fantastic job, but I mean, is there enough damage? Single infestor, 1 more Broodlord gets morphed in the face of danger. It seems like 5 Banelings on the way as well. I feel like Solar doesn't quite realize the conundrum he's in. He needs to push. He has a losing hand still, and he needs to basically bluff Innovation out of the game by, well, not bluffing, he just needs to kill him. He has a 2 and a 7. His opponent has pocket aces, and there's already 2 aces on the table. And Innovation is smiling to himself. The only way for Solar to win is either to cheat or to smash Innovation in the face, and now would be the right time to smash Innovation in the face. I mean, you can't possibly think that you're gonna outmine your opponent. Like, right? It's just not possible. He also doesn't have the technical units he needs. He doesn't have the sophistication in this army. He needs more spellcasters. He needs more infestors. He needs more Broodlords. He had 1 brilliant fight, but we had like 15 fights that went okay for Innovation. So yeah, I'm still having a rough time here seeing Solar win this, honestly. Having a rough time seeing Solar win this, but perhaps one more fight like last time, and it is possible. Solar actually gonna go for a base trade, which... okay. I mean, that's a move that you can make. Gonna at least try to do some base trade things with Ling Bane. It's actually gonna get some orbital commands, which should never happen. And now if Innovation backs himself into another corner, that could potentially be dangerous. Now with the scan, of course, it's kind of like having map hack. He's gonna be able to see anything coming. Where's the orbital count? Okay, 4 orbitals still alive. Couple of Thors. I think Innovation can almost straight up fight this. There's 59 Marines. I mean, it's not like there's 10 Infestors. There's a single Infestors and there's 7 Banelings. Like, pure Marine should be able to almost beat this. Here come the... Oh, good Blinding Cloud out of Solar, though. That you gotta give him that. Another good Blinding Cloud, actually. Good Fungal being casted as well. But no, it's just too much. Just too much at this point. Snipe galore. 7 snipes per Broodlord. Sure, 3 of them get cancelled. But it's not going to be enough. As Solar wins this beautiful game here on Lightshade. Or sorry, Innovation wins this beautiful game here on Lightshade against Solar. And yeah, that's going to be it for today. If you did enjoy this Hearthstone cast video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the smash like and all that stuff. Hit the smash like, guys. Alright, see you next time. Bye bye.